All right. Hey, everyone. Tellor Dev Call again. Buddy's entering, so we'll have some feedback right now. All right. So big things as of last week. So I think it was just last week. I think it was just last week we kicked off the treasury, right? So that's live. You can go invest in the treasury now. We'll give you guys an update sometime, see how much fills up. 5% return in 3 months. So if you're going to hold TRB for 3 months, you might as well go get 5% return on it. It's super cool. Some other things I guess we're working on. We started Tellor 360. So we're, let me know, my internet connection says it's unstable. So let me know if I cut out. But anyway, Tellor 360 is the dev party's coming. I scheduled the audit today. It's sort of like signing up for a marathon before you start training. You're like just sort of held to it. But it's going to be mid-July. So we got 2 months to button up everything. My goal would be by the end of June. Obviously, you can still, we're going to still continue to test and everything through the audit, but my goal would be to finish all the contracts, have them like compiling. We all sort of review them and agree. And then mid-June to mid-July is just testing. We'll launch it on Ringkey, or maybe not on launching it on Ringkey, that we'll save that, but we'll just be, local testing, launch it kind of a fork, and we'll see how that works. So other things on our plates, we'll be updating usingTellor. So I'm buttoning up some tests on that, and then I'll update the NPM package. There were some issues in between usingTellor versus Tellor X versus Tellor Flex, and so just made some changes there. So if you're using Tellor, things might change. Yeah, anything else that I guess we worked on? Big things. So the RNG is out, right, Tim?
Yes, it is.
But I think our buddy Chainlink God may have improved it, right?
Yeah.
So
there's one slight modification we can make that should improve things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he actually found a bug in it. Like, I think it was pretty good, but just him bringing it up, like, we were like, yeah, if we actually enforce a certain scenario, I guess it would. So, I mean, what the thing was basically like, if the Bitcoin block if you chose a timestamp for where you're matching up the Bitcoin and Ethereum timestamps, if the Bitcoin block closest to that was really old, like 5 minutes old or something, like you could theoretically, then it would be easier to modify the hash. Just if the Bitcoin one came after or came before, right?
I think it was really that, Bitcoin block times are 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Ether's every like 10 seconds or 12 seconds. So you could have, the random number generator works by, you're looking at a certain timestamp and you take the next block hash for Bitcoin and Ether after that timestamp. And so the Ethereum block hash will come like immediately. Then the next Bitcoin block hash will come in 5 minutes on average.
Yeah.
So by that time, now the Bitcoin miner knows exactly what that Ether block hash is. So now it's just up to the Bitcoin miner. So I think the improvement we can make is you could use the most recent Ether block hash right before that Bitcoin block hash. And at that time, the Ether block hash isn't actually set in stone.
And I mean, the Bitcoin block hash, you would never be able to compete at the proof of work mining if you were changing it 10 seconds before.
Yeah, right.
So, like you would have to have like a 10x the whole Bitcoin. You have to have like 90% of the Bitcoin hash power. So like that's not gonna happen. Yeah. So I think just making it that little change will then it works as expected. So
yeah, it has a lot to do with just playing with time, and what information is known at a certain point in time.
Yeah, so we can make those changes. I think that you should be able to make those changes in like what, an hour, if that.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a slight change on what we already have. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big question, should we give him a bounty?
I know. Yeah, maybe it's just because that's funny.
I think it would be. I say we send him $100 at TRB just for a
Then we
second.
can send him a shirt as well. And then so
Yeah.
Well, apparently, yeah, isn't that how we bought off Chris Black?
Tellor core contributor.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's a just robo man.
Yes. So, all right, we'll send him a bounty and do that. Yeah, but what are you guys working on, Owen?
I have a lot of catch up to do because I was out COVID last week. So I need to work on Diva things, getting just things kind of like seamless with the tip listener. So we can help Vlad test things kind of like end to end with the Telliot side. And I get back to Darshan, just look at what he was running into, some JavaScript stuff where he's testing, getting the values that are reported with PyTelliot on his TypeScript daemon for more for stuff. And then I was looking at Akram's PR, the tests are failing. I like reran them a few times. Like it's failing because like gas price historical, now it's failing because like historical price tests for Kraken. So making another issue for that. And then the original one that I was failing on was this like where it's this assert function within the actual tip, the autopay test, which I've seen before, which is like sporadic for some reason. So I'm trying to get that one to come up again, but it's giving me all these other test errors, which is no bueno. So I just need to check out those. And then I may need to give back Tellor 360 things to like Tim and other people just because I have to do a bunch of catch up, but we'll see. I'll let you know at the end of the week.
All right, Akram.
I worked on the Telliot I added a wait period flag that you can, instead of, because the tip listener was making too many calls and the reporter is running every 7 seconds. So it's, I guess, an adjustment that a reporter can make if you wanted to slow it down. So it makes less calls. In addition to that, I found 2 extra calls that I was able to get rid of and do without. So I did that.
When will this be ready?
The problem is the tests are failing on, like, I don't know. It has nothing. I don't think it has to do anything with the changes I made, but like the API is timing out and so forth on the other tests that we had passing previously. So I'm trying to figure out if we can solve that. Aside from that, I switched the tests. Like a lot of the tests, there's still 2 left, 2 brownie tests, and there's an issue with that. The tests are failing because I don't know, the async is not like tearing down after each test. For some reason, it's keeping the loop going. I'm trying to figure out how to close the loop, the async loop, before it goes to the next test. Another thing is the script that we talked about last week for a Spuddy, but that was, I know you said it was supposed to be just a single probably file script, but it's kind of building out to be a bigger thing. So I don't know, maybe if it'll need a repo, a separate repo aside from, instead of adding it to Telliot, just to keep things clean.
Yeah, we can go ahead and make a repo. You should be able to.
Okay. Yeah. And I think I want to finish that out today. I've been working on it all weekend, so it's taking longer than I expected, but hopefully today I'll be done with it.
Awesome.
Is that the tip listener you're saying?
This is getting the timestamp submissions that you made to see which ones are eligible so you can go claim your tip.
Okay.
Yeah. I found a nice example on the docs of web3.py, and it was a good one. I think you'll like it after I'm done with it.
Cool.
That's it.
All right,
Take
Tim.
you back to my Jupyter. Sorry. Go. never mind.
Yeah, I'm working on Tellor 360. And in particular, the staking rewards right now. So yeah, so the model I'm looking at is I'm building it with right now is like a drip. So you have like a pool filling up with staking rewards, and then you drip. It has a drip rate to everyone who's staked. And the alternative to that would be just splitting all rewards up to all stakers as soon as the reward is sent over to the staking contract. But if we want to also use vote count, so pay out based on voting participation, I think the time drip, the slow drip model would work with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a safe assumption, so there's a 7-day withdrawal period.
Yeah,
So you can assume that it's not like people are going, as long as you're doing payouts like within every 7 days, like you can assume people aren't going to be moving in during the drip period or whatever. So it doesn't have to be super fast.
okay, cool. That was kind of my thinking too. That 7-day wait period
Yeah,
gives us a way to build in like a cost, I guess.
yeah, like you're not going to be staking and unstaking just to get rewards.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm mostly able to copy the structure of like Sushi Swap's farming rewards. It's like a lot like that. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Doing the contracts, and then I'll do testing, and then any other 360 work needed after that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know whenever you need more.
Yeah.
Cool. Tally.
Hey, last week I was working on internal docs for Algorand, setting up reporters and deployment reporters, reporters, deployment, all that stuff, scripting in general, for Tellor 360. Oh, Tim, do you have a before each that you set up already for testing, or have you not gone to testing yet?
For Tellor 360, he's going to be on something completely different, Tally.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, just didn't want to do repeats. Okay.
I'm in Flex right now.
Oh, okay. So with that said, like I'm writing before each, so just want to make sure that we don't repeat ourselves.
Nobody else will have to do that piece other than you, Tally.
Okay.
Only that Tellor 360 repos can deal with all those upgrades and voting on it. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, so testing on that repo, and I wrote a data spec for Filecoin deal status, which is sort of alludes to the proofs that we learned about in Tim's presentation, but it's sort of a more like exposed kind of property of the Filecoin network. So I wrote the data spec, and now I'm working on a solidity example using that data spec. And then maybe after that, a Tellor implementation, but that's what I'm working on.
Cool. All right. And Spuddy, anything?
Not really.
Spuddy says not really. We need basically as soon as possible, we need to reduce the node hits on a lot of Spuddy's nodes.
I'm gonna temporarily go back to before the temp listener as a quick fix.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to not using the tip listener because we're basically killing all our nodes.
How many calls is it?
I could look up. I think it's like 225,000 a day or something like that. So we're running up there. Yeah.
Do we just have a flat amount that we can use per month or day?
So like I have it up to 225,000 a day, and we've been hitting that one. And then it's basically all Spuddy. And I think, you know, like I can up it, obviously, no problem. But like I think it's like getting, we should be able to not.
And what's that for? How many reporters is that?
2 or 3.
Like 2 or 3
Said
reporters only.
2 or 3, and that's for a day. Huh.
Yeah, so we got to cut back a lot. The old Tellor reporter, so I mean the Golang one, like I did, that was like one of the constant struggles, was just reducing it, because like a lot of people who would try and spin it up, normal users, like, so like I even have to pay in Infura for that amount. You know, the usual limit is, you know, a fraction of that. So you usually want to keep it to where like a user doesn't have to pay $50 a month to Infura to run this thing. Or at least there's some sort of option for them to not have to pay that. So
Go tell you it used so much that I used my own node.
yeah, yes, it's Buddy saying you just have to run your own node, but the others tell it. And so, you know, like I want to make it so we don't have to do that here. Although maybe it's being good stewards of the space if we force people to run their own nodes.
Own node, it's amazing. You can just hit it as much as you want.
Yeah.
It's great.
So we might have to again. You just spin it back up. Okay. Anything else, guys? I think that's about it. But I think I also want, whenever people get some free time, talk to some people on it. We need a data spec for like an EVM bridge. So like, how do you call a contract on another EVM chain? It's super easy. The data spec would just be the chain ID, the contract address, and then the function call, and would return the data. But somebody was asking for that in the hackathon, and I was like, we should totally have this as a data spec. Would be super easy. And then another one, some people, like another person asked in the Tellor channel for the hackathon, and then other people have asked in the past how to get testnet TRB. We should eventually make a faucet. It would be super easy, I think, you know, because we have whatever, Spuddy owns 95% of the Rinkeby supply. Just sit there and go for it. So you just fund it, and then you're allowed to pull once a day, and you get 1,000 TRB, something like that. So anyway, so those are some fun ideas. And then I'm going to fix that treasury. There's a problem with the treasury, some dates on the treasury website, going to fix those today. And then the community is asking for more front ends just to show projects using Tellor. We could do that. I was thinking like a simpler one, like they're like, oh, if we have trouble like updating it or something like that, like what's the TV? Because if they post like UMAs, this is how many people are using it. This is the TVL in them. The problem with all those is like it's such a pain to maintain those. You know, UMAs is all like their own hackathons. So it's like we could do that and make it look pretty, but like I was thinking maybe we just do like include it in like the quarterly review or something like that at the bottom, to have like that way it suffices for what they're looking for, but it doesn't look like it's sort of up to date, or we're not standing by it that this is the list of projects using Tellor, and if you want to get in and I also just want it to be selective. Like this is a portion of the ones using it. We don't endorse these projects. If you have a project using Tellor, you can try and get in here, but if you're scammy, we're not going to put you in here. That's the problem we've always had with people. And anytime, you know, even when we first launched Tellor, we had like a partner section on our website, and then projects would want to get on the partner section, and it was like, this is no. So we took it off. Anyway, all right, guys, thanks for being here. Let me know if you need anything.